Hello children, you're just once again welcome back for another session of science. Your teacher, Annabelle Richard, in P6 class. We are still looking at our circulatory system. You know, it's quite a wide topic. Let me hope you are safe. You have been taking caution of yourself. Remember, COVID kills. Children, you need to sanitize regularly. Keep a distance and so on. So right children, today we are looking at still our circulatory system. We are going to see how the blood moves around the body. But before we look at that, last time I left with some little work. Remember that work? Did you do it? Let's check. Let's compare with my answers we have here. Fine. The first question was saying, which chamber of the heart receives blood which is deoxygenated? You can see the answer we have there. Which one's that? The right atrium, or what we call the right auricle. Which chamber of the heart receives blood which is oxygenated? Do you have the same answer with mine? The left atrium or the left auricle? Good. Question number 2. Why doesn't blood flow backward in the heart? I told you something about the heart. Blood shouldn't flow backward. So what makes it to go backward? Do you have a similar answer with mine? That's just got the valves. It's okay. Question 3. Why is the left side of the heart thicker than the right side of the heart? I told you, you saw the diagram of the heart. Remember that? You can also look at your diagram and compare with that. You could see your diagram. The other side is thicker than the right one. Why? I told you it pumps blood with high pressure to all body parts. Then finally, how is our heart adapted to its function? The function of the heart is to pump blood. How is it able to pump that blood? Adaptation, we saw them last time. We said the heart is highly muscular to pump the blood to the different parts of the body. It has got the blood vessels. Remember those blood vessels? Can you remind from some of the blood vessels? We saw the aorta, we saw the vena cava, we saw the pulmonary vein, we saw another one there. Then finally, the heart has got valves. These valves, remember there are several valves in the heart. There are some words I taught you. There's a word called the tricuspid valve and the bicuspid valve. So those valves prevent the backflow of blood. So the blood shouldn't be flowing backwards once it enters the heart. Fine. That's good if you pass all my questions. You are very good children. So today, children, we are looking at how the blood saturates around the entire body. Last time we are only looking at the heart. Now we want to see where does the blood go? Which blood vessel takes blood where? This is what we are going to look at. So by the end of the day, we are going to see once again, the meaning of the word blood saturation. 2, we shall be knowing the importance of other organs like the lungs, the kidneys, the liver, the skin, the ileum, and the saturation of blood. Then finally, we shall look at the different blood vessels by their name. This time they are going to be different from those we saw from the heart. They have got scientific name. So be very attentive and learn the spelling and the pronunciation. So identify those blood vessels that carry blood to different parts of the body. That is by the end of this session, all of you must have achieved this. The meaning of blood saturation, the importance of those organs which are involved in blood saturation, and the different blood vessels which take blood to different parts of the body. So I request that you concentrate, children, and we start off right away. So, can someone remind me? We looked at the word blood saturation earlier on in our first lesson. Remember that, children? Fine. We said that this is the movement of blood around the body. The blood must saturate around the body. And once it saturates around the body, several things happen. We're able to get the oxygen. We are able to get food to transfer to different parts of the body. We're even able to remove some waste products which could be toxic to our body. So today we are going to look at that movement of blood. Wonderful. Look at this. Have you ever seen this one somewhere? I know you could be having it in your textbook. So we are going to see how the blood saturates around the entire body. So be very keen and attentive. Up here, we have got our head and the arms. Below that, we have the lungs. Take note of those organs. Then we have our major organ here, which is the heart, in the central part. Then we have the liver here. Below that, we have the intestine. Then we have the kidneys. Then we have our legs. So this is going to be our circulatory system, the entire system, how the blood moves around the body. So where does it start from? Remember what I told you last time, how the heart works? It works by contracting and relaxation of those muscles. The blood is going to be received from the vena cava. Remember that type of blood which goes through the vena cava? Yes, that's called the blood which is deoxygenated. It enters, so the heart is going to receive that blood through the vena cava. It enters the heart. Once it enters the heart, remember the words I told you. I told the word diastole and systole. So the right auricle is going to relax, let the blood go into the heart. And once it goes into the heart, it is pumped down to the ventricles. The ventricles contract and push it out. Okay? First, it will go to the lungs. So that once blood goes to the lung, that blood contains a lot of carbon dioxide. A lot of carbon dioxide. And that's why when it goes to the lung, it must drop the carbon dioxide and receives the oxygen. After receiving oxygen, I told you, the blood comes back via the pulmonary vein. It enters the heart. Enters the heart, moves down the ventricle. The ventricle pumps the blood through the biggest artery here called aorta. Children, be keen with this. So the aorta is going to pump the blood out the rest of the body parts, as I told you last time in our second lesson. Now, this aorta, when you look at it, has got several blood vessels, several branches. A branch of the aorta would go to your liver. A branch of the aorta would go to your intestine. A branch of it would go to your kidney. A branch of it will go to your legs. So that's how the blood is going to be moving. Now, which branch goes to which part of the body? That's what we want to look at. So from the aorta, we have already seen that the blood will come to the liver. Do you know why the blood goes to the liver? We are going to find out. Now, that blood vessel, which is carrying blood, which is oxygenated, and it goes to your liver, is called the hepatic artery. Say the word, hepatic artery. That's good. Then the branch of the aorta that goes to your intestine and is carrying blood which is oxygenated, that one is going to be called the mesenteric artery. Can we put that word together? Mesenteric artery. A branch of the aorta that goes to your kidney, carrying blood there, is going to be called the renal artery. Renal artery. Then a branch that goes to our legs is going to be called the iliac artery. Iliac artery. Let's go back and go through once again. So we are looking at the aorta here, branching off to the liver, we call it hepatic artery. To the intestine, we call it the mesenteric artery. To the kidney, we call the renal artery. To the legs, it's called the iliac what? Artery. Now, all these branches you see here, all these blood vessels here, are carrying blood which is oxygenated, and all of them are arteries. Now, on our right, we also have blood vessels there. So there must be having two. So from the legs again, we have a vein this time, carrying blood back to the heart. Remember, I told veins carry blood towards the heart. So we have the iliac vein coming from our legs. We have the renal vein coming from our kidney. Then we have got the one which is going to be draining the intestine, going to the liver. Now, there's this branch here. Take note of it. This one is going to be called the hepatic portal vein. Don't confuse it with this one. This is hepatic artery. This one is going to be called the hepatic portal vein. We are going to see why does it connect the liver to the intestine. Then also we have another one that leaves the liver and goes to the vena cava. This one is going to be called the hepatic vein. Hepatic vein. Then all these are going to connect this one here they are going to connect the vena cava, and they drop the blood in the heart once again. So you are going to realize that the saturation in the heart is going to be double blood saturation, in the sense that the blood must go in the heart twice before it is pumped out of the body. So today we want to look at why does the blood go to those different parts of the body. Oh, before I even forget, there is one which takes the blood to the head. Do you know it? That one's going to be called carotid artery. Carotid artery. You see, those words are very, very technical. So be keen and learn the spelling of those words. Maybe once again, we can as well go through them once again. Carotid artery. We have the aorta here. We have hepatic artery, mesenteric artery, renal artery, iliac artery. You are good children. So let's look at why does blood go to each of these organs of the body. Fine, look at that. The first one, we have the lungs. I've already explained this one to you. We've said that the blood goes to the lung, the blood that goes to our lungs contains a lot of carbon dioxide. A lot of it, and that carbon dioxide, we shall see later on, is a bit harmful to our body. We don't allow it to stay there. So it's going to drop that carbon dioxide in the lungs, and it will pick oxygen. So in a sense, we are going to say the blood will be oxygenated. So it's going to receive oxygen, so it becomes what? Oxygenated. So why blood goes to our lung is to receive oxygen or to be oxygenated. So we shall look at later on the respiratory system and what exactly happens. You see, this body is a complex thing. So we shall see what exactly happened. Is it just going to drop like that and it just comes out? No, we shall look at that. So the next organ is going to be the intestine. Remember that blood vessel which goes to the intestine? Can you remind me that blood vessel? Yes, it's called the mesenteric artery. Now, we are saying that absorption of digested food will take place in the ileum. We learned about that in P5. And the intestines are going to be supplied by this artery called the mesenteric artery, and they are going to be drained by the hepatic portal vein. Now, my question is, why does blood go to the ileum? Can someone tell me that? The bright child has not told me that one. Is to pick the digested food. After picking digested food, it will go through the hepatic portal vein. It goes to the liver. Now that liver, we are going to look at it. The next body organ is going to be the liver. Fine, look at it. The liver, we learned about it in P4. It's a very big organ in the body. In fact, it's the biggest internal body organ in the body. It has got over 10 functions. It is actually our factory in the body. So this liver performs several functions and must be supplied with enough food. So you have already seen all the blood coming from the intestine with digested food will pass through the liver. This blood is going to be carried by the hepatic portal vein. Hepatic portal vein. Now, the blood will go to the liver to control the level of sugars in blood or to balance the sugar levels. You see in our body you have got sugars. And these sugars shouldn't be too much, neither should they be too low. And if they become too low, we get a problem. We shall look at that problem later on when it comes to diseases. Again, when it becomes too high, it's also that's a problem. And some of you say, which sugar am I talking about here? Is it the one I'm putting in tea? We shall look at that kind of stuff. So blood goes to the liver to control the levels of sugar we have in the blood. Hope that's clear, children. Let's look at another body organ. So we have our kidney. You learned about this in P4. Hope you know what they look like. They look like beans. They are bean-shaped. And we have got 2 of them in the lower abdomen. And they are very, very delicate. If you mess up with the kidney, you are going to get a problem. So as blood passes through the kidney, it is going to be filtered, and waste like urea, excess salt are going to be eliminated from the body in the form of urine. That urine is quite harmful to our body. Never allow urine to accumulate in your body. Once you keep it there, you are poisoning yourself. So the blood will go to the kidney to be filtered simply. That's why blood goes to the kidney. This kidney later on, when you go to P7, you are going to see it's an excretory organ. So it has a duty of removing these harmful waste products. You have already seen them. Urea, excess salt, excess water. When they combine, they form what we call urine. Good children. Then why does our blood go to our skin? Now, our skin is supplied with numerous blood vessels. We shall also look at that one later on. So it has got several blood vessels under it. So as blood saturates through these capillaries, it loses excess heat, and this helps to cool the body. And by so doing, you're able to sweat. So that sweating is a very important process for our body. When you sweat, you are cooling your body. So that's why blood goes to these different parts of the body. You have already seen why it goes to the lungs, that's to receive oxygen. Why does it go to the liver? That's to regulate blood sugars. Why does it come to our kidney? To filter the blood. And why does it go to the skin? To lose excess heat, and which helps to cool the body. So thank you for being good children. But if I leave you, as usual, I'm going to use an activity. So first question, very simple questions. Why does blood go to the following body organs? The lungs, I know you can be able to tell me now. The kidneys, the liver, and the ileum. And question 2, which blood vessel carries oxygenated blood to these body organs? Remember those blood vessels? The mesenteric artery, the renal, and whatnot. So which one goes to the kidney, which one goes to the lungs, which one goes to the ileum? So that's the work you're going to be doing for me. So when I come back next time, I'll be starting with this work here. Thank you for being good children. Take care of yourself, and remain safe. Thank you.